was peacefully doom scrolling on Instagram when I suddenly came across this.
This beagle was caught on camera praying. Watch this. You can pray to the devil by scrolling, but if you pray to God, tap subscribe and share this blessing with a friend.
And that was the moment that I realized that Christian Instagram Reels have stopped making any sense. I love seeing people educate others on social media about their religion because I think it can create more respect for all those religions in the world, and I think we kind of need that right now. But I also feel like these specific Instagram Reels from Christians are not helping. Before we look at some more of these, I'm putting myself through art school. You can help me with that by subscribing, and I would appreciate that a lot. I am trying to gather 1,000 people here by summer, and I would love to have you on this journey with me. You can also find my shop with cute plushies like these in the description down below. Now let's get started.
You got to know that NASA is evil. That's why when you take NASA and add a T, it can spell the word Satan. Okay, that's why the NASA's logo is a serpent's tongue. Okay, because NASA is of the devil, and Christians, you got to have Holy Spirit. You got to have discernment. You got to know who the enemy is. And if you're sitting up here laughing at me because I'm telling you the truth, you're the problem.
You cannot just add letters to a word to create the word Satan. I guess that makes me the problem here. As a Trekkie, I have a lot of thoughts about space travel, but I don't think it's inherently evil, and I cannot see how it would be inherently evil. Also, just NASA, the American space travel company that you can do this with. So I'm curious to see what would happen when they learn about ESA or other space traveling programs around the world. If the letter thing is the only thing that would make NASA evil or Satan or devilish or whatever, I don't think they really have an argument here that makes any sense. I'm kind of missing an explanation here. I also see a lot of Jesus food in my feed.
At this picture closely. Only 31% of the population can see what's really in this photo. What do you see? Do you see Jesus or a bowl of rice? The devil doesn't want you to tilt your phone to see Jesus, but if you see him, double tap your screen and subscribe.
Guys, and everyone that does not identify as a guy, life is just not that single Glee episode. Like, this is probably just someone that made a Jesus sculpture out of rice, which is honestly pretty impressive. It could also be AI, which would be far less impressive. Anyhow, the 31% number of people that see that this is supposed to be Jesus is oddly specific and comes out of nowhere. It's like saying that there's about an 80% chance that I will eat dal for dinner tonight because it's my go-to meal for when I cannot decide what to eat for dinner. Why do we need to decide that every day anyway? Because it's way too hard. Anyways, I feel like that 80% number is more based in something than the 31%. Where does that even come from? And why does Satan care if I tilt my phone or not? This is not doing anything good for Christianity, if you ask me. I don't get it. It's funny though.
So if Jesus isn't real, why do 2.3 billion people follow him?
There are so many funny answers for this question. Let's look at the comments for a few of those. So we have hundreds of millions of children believe in Santa. According to your logic, does that make him real? Great point. No other religion works this hard to convince or shame people into believing. Also true, in my opinion. If the sun was real, why don't we burn up? Also a fair point. Okay, and now for the real answers to this question. First of all, science has come a really long way since ancient Rome, so back in that time people felt a stronger need to believe in something supernatural to explain things around them. Second of all, a lot of people still feel this need, and that's perfectly fine because the universe is gigantic and no human brain can grasp that, so people still feel that need, and that's totally okay and understandable. Third, Christians did a lot of colonization, gaslighting, and coercing people into believing in Christianity. So there you go. You're welcome, and colonization is a very bad thing and you shouldn't be proud of it. No one should ever be proud of that. A lot of Christians on Instagram Reels will also tell you about the great importance of having a lot of children.
Liar, as you say?
Well, absolutely.
Why did you work for him?
Savannah, slow down.
If the only purpose for humanity was to procreate, I don't really know how to finish that sentence, but I just feel like there's more to life and humanity than just getting children. My problem here is more with the "for your husband" part of this video. I know that traditional families are coming up again, and it's perfectly fine to want that and to have that, and I'm happy for the people that are satisfied living that lifestyle. However, I do think that promoting that the decision of how many children you should have should only fall on the man. I think that should be a mutual decision, and I also think that it should weigh in that women are carrying the children for 9 months every single time. Women are not children-making machines. If a woman wants to have a lot of children, that is completely fine and their choice, but they should be able to make that choice for themselves. There are also Christians on Instagram that want to debate atheists. I don't think a debate is the right way to go here. You can better have an open conversation together where you can learn from each other. I've had multiple of those conversations myself, and I like having them. But maybe this guy can convince me otherwise.
3 things every atheist has to admit, and you can use these if you're debating an atheist as a Christian. Lock in. Firstly is that they have a belief. An atheist has a belief that there is no God. That is a belief. They put their faith and trust that there is no God.
Nobody will deny this. Not every belief is a religion, though. That I believe in eating fruits to get my vitamin doesn't mean that I just started the religion of the Holy Orange, for example. And just as how atheists cannot prove that there's no God, Christians cannot prove that there is a God or that their version of a God is the right one. It's simply just not about that.
And secondly is that they cannot prove anything 100% scientifically. They cannot prove that there is climate change 100%. You cannot. There's always flaws in science. They have to admit that. And
this is also just plain wrong. Climate change has been proven, and I will put a link in the description for you so you can check it out. Furthermore, there are a lot of Christians that also believe in science. Those things are just not mutually exclusive. Of course, science keeps changing as we learn new things. Christianity also keeps changing. There are a lot of new ways that people believe in Christianity since the religion has started.
Third point, since they can't prove anything 100% with their research, then there has to be room for improvement, meaning that there's always going to be changes in any subject of research within science or anywhere. Since every atheist has to admit all 3 of these, it's very easy to rebuttal these, because they also have a belief, as we do, in God, and they can't 100% prove everything, just like we can't. We just give evidence that it's true. Same scenario. It's pretty funny when they think they have everything figured out, but realistically, we're in the same situation. They put their beliefs in their evidence, I put my beliefs in my evidence.
I don't know what debate this guy is having, but no atheist will ever say that we know everything about the world. Getting them to admit that is not a real challenge and won't convert them to Christianity. In the words of Socrates, who lived before Christians ever existed, all I know is that I know nothing. And the ancient Greek people were doing a lot of science back in the day. And then there are also the Instagram Christians that accidentally use their platform to promote things that they actually don't want to promote.
My bad. I don't want 22,000 SA victims to be denied abortion every year.
Oh, sorry. Was I too political? My bad. I just want to be able to marry my girlfriend one day.
My bad. Did I get too political? I just want to make sure kids can go to school without fearing for their lives.
Oh, was I too political? I'm sorry. I just don't want to have to be a girly.
Oh, was I too political? I don't want a rapist to have access to nuclear weapons the same way I wouldn't want them to have access to a gun.
Oh, estaba siendo demasiado político. Es solamente que no quiero que deporten a todos mis seres queridos que aportan tanto a este país.
Did I get too political? My bad. I just want to make sure my trans siblings have bodily autonomy.
Oh, sorry. Did I get too political? I just don't think men should be in charge of women's reproductive health.
Merry MAGA Christmas.
He said nothing. He just showed a bunch of people that make actual great points that you can't really argue with. And then he said, "Marry, make America," you know, the rest of it. I don't want to say it, really. You saw it yourself. You might question what this even has to do with Christianity, and so do I, but this guy does have Jesus is Lord in his biography, and apparently his account is supposedly about that. So apparently religion and politics are not separated anymore, specifically talking about Christianity in America, because I know that there are different situations in the world, but in America, religion and state is supposed to be separate, and also these reels were all American, and the only reels I get about this are either Dutch or American. If you want me to make a video about the Dutch ones, I will, but I will just have to translate them because most of the people here are not Dutch, but some are. Hi, welcome. Anyhow, there's a separation of the state and the church going on in America. Don't know if you heard about it, but politics should be separate from that. And this guy just gave his platform to people making statements that I agree with, which he probably doesn't want. Anyhow, I don't think that all the reels we've seen today show Christianity as a faith of love and hope. And I know it can be that because some of my friends that are Christians have shown me that, but these people kind of destroy that part of it, and that's sad, I think. It feels like that moment when you're in primary school and the class clown is talking really loudly and you have to stay with the entire class after school for 5 minutes because he did that and you had a mean teacher that punished the entire class for doing that. My entire Instagram feed is now destroyed. I'm not exaggerating when I say that I did not have to search for those reels that I showed you. They just showed up on my feed like that. And also, I just maybe skipped 5 other reels that I actually liked in writing this video. So I need to fix that. Thank you for watching. If you like my little video, please press that shiny, wonderful like and subscribe button. And then I will see you next time. Ciao!